Greetings, one and all. Welcome. Today we will be making pastrami. Now, pastrami is, without a doubt, a labor-intensive process, many steps involved. But if you follow this video carefully, I promise you will create a product on par with what you get at the great New York City delis like Katz's or the Carnegie Deli. Any great pastrami starts with a brine, and here are my main ingredients. Going from the bottom, we have brown sugar, garlic powder, coriander seeds, kosher salt, pink curing salt, whole allspice, cinnamon sticks, and whole black pepper. We use these ingredients to create a brine, and we cured our pastrami for 3 weeks. Here I am pulling out the pastrami. Obviously, it's going to look a lot better once it's cooked, but you can start to see some of the pink texture of the meat that is so characteristic to delicious cured meats. So here we are. We're giving this a big, thorough rinsing. It's really important to get that salty brine off of the meat. That was about 12 quarts of water with 1 cup of kosher salt, about 3 tablespoons of the pink salt, and our brown sugar, and as well as the rest of our spices. So here we are. We've really rinsed this down, gotten all the excess brine off, and now it's going to be important to get rid of any kind of excess moisture before we do our rub. And our rub is very basic. This is classic pastrami. We are doing 50-50 of coriander seeds and black pepper. The rule of thumb is if you want to have a little bit of a stronger pastrami, up the black pepper. If you want it a little weaker, then have a higher proportion of coriander. I'm a big believer in toasting your seeds before you grind them up. What happens is the toasting brings some of the natural oils to the surface, and then really, in my mind, unlocks the flavor. We're just going to continue to give this a nice mix. And we're looking at really not long, just medium heat, 30 seconds to a minute total. And here's our spice grinder. And just a couple basic pulses. You do want to be a bit careful when you pull this off because you'll get some very fine ground spices in the air. All right, there we are, freshly ground. And that's what our rub is going to be. So I didn't, it took me for the longest time to realize this, but actually the difference between corned beef and pastrami, both often used in the classic Reuben sandwich, is really, it's the same brisket that's cured in the same kind of brine. The only difference is whereas corned beef is typically just cooked or steamed, with pastrami, we rub this coriander, black pepper rub, and then we smoke it. So pastrami is really just corned beef to the next level. Here we are getting a good coating of our coriander and black pepper. Looks a bit like sawdust, but don't let the appearance deceive you. Good close-up view. You can see the black pepper and the coriander, and that's going to form a beautiful crust. All right, here we are out at the smoker. I use a Traeger pellet grill. And so really what we're going to be doing here is we want to smoke at least 7 hours. Get this up to north of the stall point, which is about 160 degrees. So really I'm going to aim for something around 175. Here it's been going for a couple hours. We're going to take a quick look at it. But you can do a couple things. So it's perfectly acceptable just to smoke this up to temperature, which is really about 195 to 205 degrees. We're going to do something that involves an extra step that in my mind actually just takes it to the next level. So whenever we're done smoking, we won't be complete with the pastrami. And so take a look at it there. About 182. That's good. I'm not going to cut this up and eat it yet. Again, we still have an additional step in which we will be steaming it. And so again, labor intensive, and you've got to be patient, but trust me, the end result is absolutely worth it. So this guy is going to get wrapped in foil and put into the fridge for overnight. And here it is the next day. And there's our pastrami. Always important to cut against the grain to get maximum tenderness. And this is, I forgot to mention, this is the point of the brisket. And so this is really the fattier and frankly the more flavorful part of the brisket. And for pastrami, it's really a home run. You can see there the characteristic pink coloring of the pastrami. And that's really some beautiful color there. This is going to be the key ingredient to a wonderful, wonderful sandwich. So here we are. We're going to put this in the Instant Pot. We're going to stack our slices. Add probably half a cup of water underneath to create the steam. And we are going to have our pastrami here shortly. There's a nice up-close view. Beautiful, beautiful pastrami. So there we are all stacked up. We've added our water. Let's close up the Instant Pot. And we're just going to go 40 minutes here, high pressure. And there's our end result. Take a look at that, those beautiful slices of pastrami. Here we have some fresh rye bread. And look at those slices. Of course, a Reuben is a perfectly valid option, but in my mind, all you really need is just some spicy brown mustard and some good Jewish rye bread, and you are in for a treat. So take a look at that pastrami. I hope you enjoyed, and I know I certainly did. Please follow, subscribe, and share, and happy eating to one and all. Thanks and goodbye.